Hey everyone, Mike and I just helped an investor acquire a 25-unit multifamily property in Oceanside. And what was exciting about this property is we found this property off market for the buyer, but we also went out and had to sell 2 down leg properties for our client in order to satisfy the 1031 exchange and acquire the 25 units. On this video, Mike and I are going to talk through the highlights on how we were able to make this happen for the client.
Yes, so we had a client come to us and say, Mike, Dan, and team, I really want to get a larger apartment complex with a little less headaches, less management intensive for myself, because I'm managing these properties with my team. I want to have an off-site manager and an on-site manager do everything for me, and then get something that I'm used to owning some properties here in coastal Orange County that were built in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Get something a little newer that is going to, not every day am I going to get a call and have to replace this roof, this electrical, this plumbing.
It is hard to find newer construction assets along the coast, but this is what came about. We got a call through a relationship broker outside the firm, called us and said, I've got this 25-unit building in Oceanside, would you have a buyer fit for it? We were talking with one of our repeat investors that mentioned they wanted to exchange up, and we presented the opportunity to them, and quickly we wrote an offer and put the property under contract. So we were able to source this off market and then go out and build out time to go out and then sell the 2 down leg properties quickly. So a highlight on the 25-unit property. This is located at 2326 Greenbrier Drive in Oceanside. This is 1980 construction property. Good curb appeal, not a lot of deferred maintenance, if any, on the exterior. The interior showed well. They all had washer dryer hookups, 1 and 2 bedroom units, and the going in cap rate was approximately 4.6% with upside to almost a 6 cap.
That's right. There was ADU potential at the property, and then a little bit of rental momentum too, where we can increase those rents. It was a great piece of property. It's exactly what this buyer was looking for. And then as soon as we sourced it, as Dan mentioned, we listed and sold his downlake properties, which consisted of 8 units in Laguna Beach and then 6 units in San Clemente. So he went from owning 14 units, and then we exchanged them up into 25.
Going from 14 units to 25 is a nice jump. The buyer didn't have to add any cash in order to complete this exchange, and his top line rents substantially improved. He went from, one of the down legs he was selling was completely vacant. He was going to have to do a value add renovation and improve that property, but given the timing of the up leg, we found he ended up selling it vacant. So it's hard to compare apples to apples where top line rents would be. But overall, the down legs, if you were to keep them and stabilize them, his total top line annual rents would be about $550,000 per year. The Oceanside property that we exchanged him into had a top line in-place rent of $635,000 per year. So there was substantial lift, didn't have to add any cash, and the sale prices, the combined sales price of the 2 down legs was $8,615,000. The up leg purchase price was $8,620,000. So it was almost to the penny a match on a total price, but you're consolidating into one asset that Mike mentioned was really important to the client. You're still in the coastal market, and you're getting a newer vintage asset. So we checked a lot of the boxes. And I think what Mike was able to do with arranging and structuring the sales, where you were able to get this all executed very quickly.
Within 7 days of closing the downlake properties, we closed the uplake property. It happened all within that 1 week period. And most important to this buyer, he really trusted us. He was like, Mike, Dan, and team, help me source a loan, which we did. Find me a offsite property manager, we did. Help me with insurance, we did that too. So we were able to do all that within our team to just make it a little bit easier on that buying side for this particular client.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we had to go all in. It wasn't just, we found this property, here you go. It was going through and making sure you're getting good property management for your acquisition, the insurance side of it, as Mike mentioned, financing. We went through and scoured the market and were able to put a referral lender that we really like working with in touch with the buyer, and they were able to put together a great loan. So it was going through every, we have to scrutinize everything to make sure it's all going to line up for our client. Especially if we're under the exchange process, we need to make sure everything's timelined out and going to work. So it wasn't just Mike and I selling the properties. We leveraged our entire team, the transactional management side of the team, other agents on the team that were able to help source buyers and more or less get all this to kind of move forward concurrently. Our client really level up in the coastal market. And I think what he did a good job. He sold 2 really good assets. He sold a very good value add asset in San Clemente that Mike mentioned, 6 units on Avenida Palaio. That was a value add opportunity. We brokered an investment group to buy the asset. They're going to go through and do a value add opportunity to that. But that took that workload off our client's lap. That really wasn't his preference to go through and do that. So he was happy to give that opportunity to another buyer. And then the other property that we sold on Park and Golf in Laguna Beach, $800,000 per unit. And we were able to trade in on this oceanside property at $344,000 a unit. Mm-hmm. So look, it was good for another buyer to come in and acquire a great Laguna Beach coastal property. That property was older. And again, our client wanted to consolidate. The coastal market is still pretty vibrant, and that really kind of helped all of this come together so quickly. We were able to pick and help our seller select the right buyers for the transaction, negotiate all the down legs, and running that process concurrently, making sure on his up leg the insurance is getting done, the loans going through, the due diligence is checking out, if there's any needs lists that we're not receiving, if we're missing a lease or two, we're able to pull all that. We're able to summarize everything. So we're just rolling everything up to our seller.
And I mean, in all, I'm very excited to see what this new buyer is going to be doing with the 25 units, get the rents to market, build out that ADU, and then it's just going to be that very nice passive income property for him since it is that newer construction in the 1980s.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to talk about this. It's great to get together and do this video and talk and share with the investor network this exchange that we were able to help put together. I mean, this is our why. This is what we want to do. We want to help investors grow, build wealth, and expand their portfolio and do smart things with their real estate and move pieces around. And that's exciting for us. And it's all got to line up and work out. And we're very supportive of all that. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're naturally willing to go the extra mile. And that's probably why naturally the client's like, Mike, tell me what you would do. What would you recommend? What is your thoughts, Dan? What do you not like about this? What do you like about this? What should I do here? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, they're going to make their own decision, but we want to arm them as an advisory board here, not just brokers, but just go through and advise them all on all the steps. So every step we said, look, this is the next thing that we need to focus on. This is the next thing. And having all those critical dates outlined to really take a lot of the heaviness off the client.
Right, and then if anybody who's listening right now wants to just have that discussion with us and we can show you how it would make sense on your property. We have over a dozen active listings right now, and then we have more coming up too. So even if we don't have something now, or if the outside market does not, we will have something coming up that would fit exactly in your portfolio, and we can do an exchange analysis for you as well.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of times clients will reach out and say, hey, look, I'm not sure I want to sell, but I'd really like for you to look at what the value of my building is and determine what the return on equity I'm really receiving. What's the return on my equity? Is it 1% return on my equity? What's 2%? They might be making a good amount of cash flow, but especially in the coastal markets, asset values have appreciated so much, there's so much built-in equity that your return on that equity could be very low. And that was the case here, and they were able to parlay that equity into a single asset that's going to end up producing better return on equity for them, and also really just simplify a lot of things.
Yep, exactly.
So if you ever want us to do a return on equity analysis, give you some thoughts, there's a lot of times we say, hey, look, you're actually making great money, you're getting a great return on equity. Unless you've got some high-level pain points, you probably shouldn't do anything with these assets. If they're running well, maybe keep them. But then there's sometimes the return on equity is so low, there's a lot of options you can exchange into, and then it's taking the time to find and time all that together and put things, in motion when things line up.
Right, and we can take you into North County, San Diego, coastal Orange County, inland area of Orange County, or if you even want to exchange into out of state too. We've got co-workers in every state and every major market as well.
That's true. We do have a network that expands outside of our operating area. We've got investors that are looking to go out of state, like Mike mentioned, stay in the product type of multifamily. Some want to go into passive investments, into triple net. We have investors and brokers all within our network that we know the who. who is the right contact for this exchange requirement. They can provide us inventory and we can model that out to see if this is a good exchange option for you or not. But then also, most importantly, we've got a lot of investors that are exchanging out of LA. They want to come down to Orange County, or they want to just get up and improve location and get into a primo location on the coast, or consolidate a holding. So we're very much covering the ground here within Southern California, especially within Orange County. So overall, we're really excited to do this video. We're really excited to talk through this. We're really excited about all the people that came together to make this happen. And great job to Mike to shepherding this whole thing through. And we're really excited to follow up with our client 30, 60, 90 days after the sale and just making sure everything's on track as planned. Thanks so much for watching, and Mike and I will see you soon.